Hey guys, Kenny here, Ken Small Engines. We got a lot of stuff in the driveway today, but one of them is this leaf blower. Now the guy's not going to need it for a while, so he drained the gas out of it. I don't need to put gas back in it, but he wanted me to change the oil because the oil was a little dirty. He used it last fall for leaf cleanup. Now the thing is, you got an oil fill here that has a dipstick, and you have the oil plug on the bottom. Now similar to like a Honda and on most Briggs, well, usually to fill that oil, you fill it till it's just at the top thread, okay, just about to dribble out and you're done. Let's see if we fill it through the dipstick and not use the dipstick to check it at first. Let's fill it to where it just comes close to that top thread, and let's see where it shows on the dipstick to see if they're one-on-one with the way they measure. Let me grab some oil. We'll be right back. All right, so this blower is going to be used mainly in the fall and in the cold months, so I'm going to use a 5W30. This is a semi-synthetic blend. I use Kawasaki oil. I get a decent deal on it from my dealer. So normally these engines take between 16 and 18 ounces of oil. So let me start by putting some in, and we'll see where it comes up on the threads below. Don't see anything yet. No, not yet. Keep pouring. Oh, I see it now. Here it comes. Oh, starting to show on the threads. I'm going to get it where it's about halfway up the threads, then I'll stop. Okay, right now, whoa, 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 whoa. It's about 3/4 of the way up the threads. Let me grab the dipstick and see what the dipstick showed us. It's about 3/4 of the way up, almost all the way up. All right. It's literally right to the last thread, almost to the top. Let's see what the dipstick shows us. Make sure it's all the way down. And that shows as well, hard to see because there's still oil on the side of there. Let me try it again. Hard to read these dipsticks sometimes. All right. Right now it's showing, yep, perfectly full right there. Perfectly full on the dipstick. Oh, wait a minute. Let's see. Nope, not perfectly full. It's showing right there, which is, yeah, almost full, almost perfectly full. So yeah, the dipstick, if you put the dipstick in, let me try it again. Pull it out. Make sure we're looking correctly. The dipstick is right to there. So let me turn it around. Yep, right to the full mark. So at the last thread coming out the bottom, that's where the dipstick shows full. So instead of just using the dipstick, fill it up from the top, use the bottom to gauge how full you're getting it instead of dipstick every, 2-3 times. Oh, but no, more. Use that bottom. Let it come up to the last thread, then check it with your dipstick. And once it's at that last thread, your dipstick should show full. All right, that's the tip for today, guys. We will talk to you soon. All right, guys, I'm back. Just a little addendum here. I didn't really show the dipstick when I did what I did, so I'm going to show you a little trick I do. I take a Sharpie marker, okay, just a regular Sharpie, and I mark the dipstick with the Sharpie. Because a lot of oils now are clear or very light colored, and it's hard to see them, especially in the sun. So by having a Sharpie marker in black or red, you can see the contrasting color when it gets wetted by the oil. So let me do that, and I'll show you how I check it. And here's another tip for you. If you look at the top of the oil dipstick, you got a double hump there. See the double slot there and a single slot. Well, if you look at your dipstick, you got the double slot on the bottom and the single slot on the top. So you want to orient your dipstick that way when you put it in, so that way you don't have to turn it and screw it in and risk wiping a bunch of oil onto the dipstick from the side of the fill tube. So in this case, it looks like this with the oil can that's molded in pointing downward. So we're going to go straight in like that. We're going to pull it out and we're going to look at that dipstick and see how that black line looks. Let me pull it around here. And as you can see the difference in the tone of the black. All right, it's hard to, let me see if I can get it in the shade here so you can see it. The sun is really tough. You try and look at stuff in the sun and it's really tough. Let me see if I get in the garage here. See if we can get a little more contrast. Okay, yeah, see the contrast of the line? You can see with that oil right there about halfway up that line. So if you rotate it, that's where the full is. All right. You can see the contrast where the Sharpie, see how it's dark to the left about halfway up that line? You rotate it, that's where the full mark is. So I always use a Sharpie. You can see where the wetting of the oil turns the line a different shade of black, so you can tell where the oil's been. And that's the way I do it. It's tough to see oils nowadays. A lot of them are clear. They're like a very light amber color, and that's a good way. So you can see the oil's up to the very last thread on there. It shows full from the dipstick. That's the way to do it, guys. All right, we'll talk to you soon.